Starting.
Hey, it's those ADD boys again.
Hello.
Hello, humans. Hello, humans.
Episode
10. This is a special episode just because numerically 10, I don't know, don't fucking ask questions. We've made 10 episodes, so that's a landmark in us making stuff together consistently.
Yeah.
I don't care about your week, so I'm not going to ask about it.
It's fine. It was a shitty week.
Yeah. And mine is nothing of note, just more drama and bullshit and world shit, women shit, you know.
So life, yeah.
Just life happening.
Yeah.
This is a little divination deck I have that comes out once in a while. We're going to draw a card today because it's a special day. Mm-hmm. And this is how we're going to start the episode and see where it goes from there. Because why not? Do a little something special.
Yeah.
A little shuffle.
The question we came up with as we're going to draw this with all that's going on in our lives in the world was, how can we better be of service? Poignant, but general question.
How can we better be of service?
How can we better be of service?
How can we better be of service? How can we better be of service? Me, Alex, maybe all people.
Well, I get to draw.
Yeah, I feel it. How can we better be of service? Show me the card.
Pendulum.
Decision. Okay, hold that. You can hold that. I'm going to find this. We're going to read that. How can we better be of service? Pendulum 86. Okay. How can we better be of service? There are many paths before you, some that promise to fulfill your desires, and some that others in your life would bid you take to fulfill theirs. It is important for you to decide exactly where you want to go and whom you want to be in this lifetime. For you, and not for anybody else. The universe is giving you the choice. Ask yourself, which path will lead to wholeness? Which path deceives? Choose carefully, for the answers are not being presented clearly to you at this time. You would be wise to call upon the pendulum to assist you with your decision, for it will surely show you the truthful way. Do not take this lightly, as the wrong path could detour you from your destiny. So how we can be more of service is to
be more, what I'm hearing is more like righteously decisive.
Yeah,
in your own life.
Righteously decisive. That's a good...
Training your discernment muscles and ability, maybe?
Honestly, that is some wisdom just based on how we live in the world now.
Yeah.
I mean, we talk about this all the time, but like how much media there is. Like before, you'd wake up in 1962 and read the newspaper. Hey, honey, give me some eggs. Whereas now you wake up, you look at your phone, and you have access to the entire world network of action. So every conflict, every joy, every hate, everything is happening. So if you don't have a good level of discernment for yourself, not for what objective truth is, because I don't think anyone has that, but building a truth for yourself, then I think you're going to be either you're not going to be regulated, your nervous system's going to be taxed, and you're probably going to be a shittier person to yourself and to people around you because you're inundated by all this information without any discernment. How do you handle just daily life?
The tricky thing about that is like often to train that discernment, you have to investigate something and look more closely and kind of peel back the layers. But with all of this in the information age, like as you're saying, like that taxes your brain and that taxes your system. Even if you are, intelligent or well-read person, the more you look into these things, you just peel back and you're like, oh, holy shit. Like your brain is still mushy and human like the rest of us. So it's tough.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't say I'm a master of discernment. I think I have a good level of discernment, but I struggle daily to like, how much do I keep informed?
Yeah.
And how much do I go into the forest and like separate myself from the world's events and just be with myself? Yeah. It's a tough thing because that feels like such a privilege. But I feel like that is that is the wisdom for the future, is to come back to that centeredness, to be in nature, to be by yourself, to be in community, in nature, away from the stimulus of everything, whilst also taking your time to...
Yeah. Well, I think what that card is even saying is like, the better you can, it's alluding to that like ripple effect that we often talk about. It's like you might read a news story about, war or whatever, and you're like, what can I do about this right now? And it's like, probably actually very little. But in your day-to-day life and the way you interact with people and the types of decisions you make and which paths to go down, then that might, you never know what that might affect in the future, I think is more the...
Yeah, and we could connect that
there.
directly to like a spiritual path. What is a spiritual path? Like when someone says like, "Are you following the path of spirit?" By the way, we're gonna title this episode "Portals into Future."
Into the Beyond.
Portals into the Beyond. So we're gonna touch on a range of topics here. First one, let's talk about spirit. Let's talk about what is it to walk a spiritual path to you. What does that mean to you?
I think the first thing that comes up is to develop an ability to stay curious and investigate the nature of the universe and your place within it as it changes and as it evolves and continues to pass through time. I feel like people who... And there's a multitude of ways you can do that, but I feel like people who do that also evolve alongside that growing and changing world. And people who don't probably become a little more calcified in their...
Jaded, yeah.
In their pre-existing states. And then changes that are happening both inside and outside of them either go unnoticed, and those might be little messages from the universe being like, hey, maybe like take this side path, maybe like try this side quest and see what happens. And also things that happen outside of you that like infuriate you and enrage you or make you go way off your equilibrium.
Which now more than ever is the most likely. Like change is happening so fast, and what would happen in 5 years now took 50.
Yeah.
Whereas, like the rapidity of not just technology, but just conscious advancement, reflection, power shift paradigms is just like...
Even simply just what may be happening between you and like your friends and your friend circle. Like you might catch up with someone 1 week and then 2 weeks later, like, holy shit, like things be going.
Yeah, things be going.
Yeah.
And I wonder that too. Like it's become a standard for even in my dating life. Like, is this person walking a spiritual path? And I come back to that a lot, and I'm like, well, what am I even saying when I say, are they walking a spiritual path? And for me, when I think of someone walking a spirit path, it's someone who is invested in their growth and development consciously. So if you're walking a spiritual path, to me, that means that you're making a conscious effort, as in you're taking action in your daily life to grow and shift your palette of emotional awareness, empathy for the world, empathy for yourself. You're working through whatever traumatic things have happened in your life. You're actively building and growing. Whereas I would characterize someone not following a spiritual path just doing their daily grind. Yeah, I'm just gonna go to my work, I make some money, Yeah, Friday night we're going to have some beers, and then like not that having beers is like makes you unconscious, but like, where is the growth in your life? And if I don't see it, I'm like, I just won't. This isn't gonna work.
Like if that's the peak of your week,
yes.
If the beers is the peak, it's kind of like, okay.
We're a bunch of flesh puppets on a rock flying around a sun. If beers are the peak of your week, fucking wake up. That's straight up, honestly. Like there's so much magic on this planet and in a human experience. Like, man, there's just so much to learn and so much to do and learn and like beautify your life, man.
So then I'd say on the flip side of that, that's where I say this notion of curiosity is like when people dismiss, like even the term like hippie can kind of be a bit derogatory when people dismiss anything spiritualism as like woo-woo.
Dirty hippie.
Don't get me wrong. There's a ton of bullshit out there. There's a ton of
course,
bad faith actors. There's a ton of
Deception.
Spiritual slop.
Yeah,
even.
spiritual deception.
Yeah,
People
exactly.
use it to get you to buy the thing or follow the thing.
Yeah, and like I'm sure I've fallen into things as well that have been like, you go in, you're like, oh, this community is really cool, and I'm learning lots of cool things, and then eventually it hits a point where you're like, maybe not, or maybe I'll just like take a little step back. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, I think it's also, if you're walking a path of spirit, you're likely not dismissing other practices, even if you don't engage in them. You're willing to lend an open ear or look at it a little bit or take out your magnifying glass or telescope or whatever and be like, what is that? Or what's in there? Is there something to that? Is there something to meditation? I don't know.
I have found that people who do follow like spirit and growth in that way are you usually find that they're not as affected by the world's events. And sometimes that can be critiqued as like, oh, you don't care enough. But it's not that they don't care enough. They just have refined their focus to grow and learn things that makes them more of a beautiful person and a more reflective person. And in doing that, whatever they do is making the world better. Instead of directly engaging with whatever conflict's happening, they're pursuing that internal growth. And that can also be seen as narcissistic, like, oh, you're all about yourself. So yes, there is a balance there. Like I said, you need to feel like there's a fine balance, but I have found that they have a good level of discernment and know when to engage and when to just focus on the thing and like keep growing. Like we've been at war for thousands of years. Yeah. We have it written in history books. If you just want to read, you will see we have been at war for thousands of years. Every culture, every ethnicity has gone to war with each other. And to stop that, I don't know if there's one right way. I think people protesting is a way. People can protest in many ways by developing yourself. Do something beautiful for someone, even if it's a small scale for your family, for your brother, your sister, your partner. There's such a small scale that we can all be beautifying the world. That doesn't have to be this large scale movement. And I don't want to take away from large scale movements, but that I feel like the more that you pursue a level of spiritual development, the more you realize that in your local level you can do a lot of change. And it doesn't have to be narcissistic, like self-absorbed.
No, because on that note, I was going to say, like, your spiritual development, your artistic development, anytime you're, like, with your friends or making love and having sex, whatever it is, it's like, those are all, like, anti-establishment activities.
Yeah.
Those all create a drag on the military-industrial complex.
Yeah, because they're based out of love, yeah.
Yeah, so, I mean, in your mind, is there any sort of information stream or event happening right now that could unite humanity or could
Absolutely.
unite us? Not necessarily like end all wars and it's perfect utopia.
Well, there's a couple things. One is going to be disclosure.
Okay.
I'm gonna relate disclosure to this.
Yeah.
This is how I'm gonna wrap it in. And disclosure, I mean disclosure of UAPs, unidentified aerial phenomena, which used to be UFOs, unidentified flying objects. So these are all like terminology if you hear us say these terms. That UAPs and the disclosure, which started, I'm sure it started many years ago, but in 2007 they publicly released the Nimitz, which was a battle cruiser, the footage of the drone that was tracking this UFO. And the UFO was moving not only at impossible speeds, but changing direction instantly. That if there was any people in the craft, these direction changes you'd die. The G-force gravity would crush your body, crush anybody. So when they released that, it made me go, oh, like this is kind of a world-changing, this isn't a world-changing event, this is a culture-changing event, because if technology like this exists and it's not made by human hands and it's another species or an interdimensional being, whatever that is, that technology right there could be reverse engineered to completely revolutionize society. As in, if you had 0-point energy, which is like a type of energy that you can create infinite energy source, like it never runs dry, by like say tapping the atmosphere, tapping oxygen. I don't know. I'm not scientifically inclined enough to know what exactly it means, but 0-point energy is like essentially unlimited energy. if we could tap that and use that, like the oil industry would topple, and the oil and gas would completely change. We may still use it in smaller applications, but like if we're using it to charge a city or to charge your laptop or to run your life, if we had 0 point energy for everyone and energy was free, just imagine how life would change overnight from this. So it's not just that, maybe there's aliens or interdimensional beings, which could be beings that live here, just not in the same realm of understanding that we perceive with our sensory organs. Because whether they're here and they're living in a different dimension, or they came from somewhere else and traveled through space, I doubt that they want to eliminate humanity. It's more likely this could be a giant zoo, and they're just kind of watching us struggle right now. And maybe the struggle, like we know, struggle is part of success. That no one finds success without struggle. So maybe they're here watching, going like, "Sorry guys, like you really got to work through this bullshit and this darkness to find the light." And don't worry, you're infinite beings, so you'll just keep coming back over and over and over. So like, I know it sucks right now, and you look around and see all the suffering, but like, don't worry, you'll come back, and one day you'll be the corrupt leader, and one day you'll be, the singer, the pop singer that saves everyone, or the painter that does, So I do believe that is a culture shifting thing that's happened, and since 2007, there's been many reports where now, literally, you can search up. There's orbs. There's an actual phenomenon of orbs, and they seem almost playful, like you were talking about this.
Yeah, so this was something I heard in a podcast episode recently, and it struck a chord with me that it was like, all these sightings, and even the new ones where it's like, missile systems are locking on and then missing and whatnot. It's like these crafts seem to like show up, and then they're kind of like, oops, you saw me, and then they kind of like skirt off and scurry away, and it's always kind of like, and then they'll appear again, and it's very like
a game.
Yeah, Joker, jester like vibe to it, like coyote energy type of thing. And you're kind of like, okay, so you maybe want to be seen a little bit,
you want to be chased
a little bit more each time. You want to be chased, and I just, that sat with me for like the rest of the day. I was like, oh, that is interesting.
And there's that man, I can't remember his name, but he lives in the States, and he had his whole life changed. Oh my God, I wish his name would come to me right now. But he essentially can call on these orbs. And he's proven it. That he's brought people who visit him, and he'll like do a meditation. He does some ceremony of some sort, and orbs come and play around him. So like, that's what makes me think that they're semi-conscious or interdimensional, because it doesn't feel like, and maybe there's multiple different types of intelligences here. Yeah. Maybe it's not just one. Maybe there's a whole variety, and they're all here doing different things. Yeah, who knows? Yeah. But these ones specifically are like light orbs, and they can never really be, you can capture them, and you never really see what they are, because a lot of times it's dark out, but like they do seem to be playful. They do seem to like hang around, and they seem to know good people. Yeah. They do. They seem to like fuck. They seem to fuck with the military and play around with them. But with good people, they just kind of float and play around, and then they never let you catch it. They never let you too close or too. Yeah. So I think relating that back to like spirit, like maybe there is a level of spiritual development we will attain in humanity. Maybe not in this lifetime, but like in humanity, where we get to a place where our understanding of consciousness will help us understand UAPs and orbs and whatever this because like if the government is releasing these videos, there's a purpose. Yeah. And I think slow disclosure is happening. I think they're slowly milking it out and letting us see it piece by piece, instead of just one day being like, they're all here and they're harvesting us and they're watching us and they're doing, like, I don't think that's going to happen. I think it's going to be a slow leak over time. And I think we're witnessing, like, we were alive in the time where we're witnessing the slow leak. Because I've been interested in this since I was a child. In the 80s and 90s, you couldn't talk about this. Yeah. You couldn't talk about this in the open. People would just be like, you're fucking nuts. But now there's so much proof historically of like cover-ups and people who are on their deathbed going, yep, we did this and there was orbs and there was a craft at Roswell.
The government has admitted, like, hey, we have some stuff.
We've reverse engineered, like,
quite, you know.
Yeah, like I always go back to the 90s. The conspiracy theorist in me is like, just look when cell phones came out. Look how fast technology jumped from that moment. When the 90s happened and all these cell phones started popping and computer chips, it just was like, overnight, we had this new modality of communication, new modality of interaction, of media, of gaming, like everything's I think we're going to have another one of those big reality shifts when another kind of technology comes into our life.
It's funny because what you're saying reminds me of a sci-fi book that was talking about, this sort of slow disclosure, and it's like, we think that all our information is coming from, the government or like those key holders, but it's like, maybe these beings, whatever, orbs, interdimensional beings, are slow disclosuring themselves to our key holders, and they only have a certain amount of information to work with, and then they're like, well, okay, for the sake of order and power in this world, we need to slow disclosure that. So it's this like really long chain of drip down of information that
a very common denominator in people that hear me talk in this way go like, why don't they just show themselves to everyone at once? Because we'd have total economic collapse. And if you know anything about history, when we've had economic collapse, there's been barbarism and really, really bad. Like there's rapes and pillages and resource hoarding and a bunch of really bad shit. So I think it makes sense if you're an intelligent species not to just be like, hey, we're here and like let's change everything instantly, because that's gonna have a lot of upset, a lot of death, and maybe there's a way that they know how to do it where we can slowly change over a lifetime and then prepare the next generations with this information growing up with it, that it's more integrated, and then when they fully reveal, it's not as big of a reveal, Right now, the Pope has already acknowledged that aliens could exist. He changed it. He changed the whole ethos, and the whole biblical area now can go, oh, yep, he said so, yep, that's now part of canon. That's now in the lore. And so I think this is all part of disclosure, and I think it's all part of spiritual development. I relate that because I think changing culture in this way, like I really hope that there's more technologies that are reverse engineered. If this is real and there is other beings here and they are sharing technology or releasing technology, or we're just stealing it and reverse engineering it, I hope that more of it is used to help people have more peace, have more serenity, to like develop consciousness and not just build more space lasers and like, sharks with laser beams on their back. Like we don't need more crazy killing machines. Like that time is done. I think, the new Roman empires are dying, and they're struggling to hold on to that power. And I think that spiritual development in yourself, in your local community, is like the best way forward.
So to help our species and to help these people go beyond the peak that we thought we had. If we thought dictatorship or rural worldship was the top of it, or whatever it is, all that control, it's like, no, as that crumbles and shifts and changes, and it might not have to be completely destroyed, it might, form into something else, but it's to help this species go beyond our current level of consciousness, beyond this planet, solar system, galaxy, whatever, like...
Yeah, that's even possible to bring life outside. Like, that's a cool question.
So
I've pondered a lot. It's like, oh, can we bring life outside of this planet?
Yeah. And I mean, that's the funny thing with the dead universe theory. It's like, statistically speaking, like we should be finding planets like teeming with life and other species, but every week it feels like there's a new article that's like, we might be stuck in a black hole, we might be in this, it might actually be this, it might have been this. It's like, all right, cool.
The amount of light in our galaxy alone is so bright, if we look at it, it blinds the rest of the universe. Like, we can't look towards the center of our galaxy because it's apparently too blinding.
Yeah, we can look out really
trillions of stars. The fact that we aren't inundated with light constantly shows you how much space is in between each star. And then, if you look at the Andromeda 4K video, search this up if you got this far, Andromeda 4K. You see how dense it looks, all these stars, but really, there's hundreds of billions of miles between each one. That's
wild.
Yeah.
It looks like sandpaper.
Yeah.
You're just like...
So in that concept of reality where we have trillions of stars in this one galaxy, and in the known universe that we've kind of looked at with our instruments, we say there's 2 trillion galaxies. That's an impossible number to encapsulate in my mind of the possibility of life. So statistically, it's not impossible. It's actually not even improbable. It's actually more probable that there is life than there's not. And even if it's a small percentage, like 0.1%, that's still hundreds of millions of conscious civilizations. So to say that one or two of them haven't crossed our path or have become advanced enough to even find us. But then there's also the dark forest. Is it called the dark forest theory? Where there's a lot of advanced civilizations out there, but everyone's kind of hiding in their dark forest. Because if you show yourself, you can be attacked.
Right. Yeah.
So it's like there's all these concepts we have for, it's funny, they're all human concepts. We apply our concepts to other intelligence, saying like, oh, if we were them and we were advanced, we'd hide because we wouldn't. So we still have this wartime of like, oh, if they're powerful, they could be more powerful and kill us, so we have to kill them first. Like that is such a primal human thing. Maybe there's a way of being conscious where that's not even a thing. Like there's super conscious where they're beyond power and control because there's no reason for it.
Yeah.
It's purposeless in that way. And like, look where we are now. Imagine a species that's 1 million years ahead of us. If we follow our predictable timeline of how technology has jumped and is rising, imagine 1 million years more. You can't.
No.
You can try. You can create all you want, but like we can't know. So
it just falls apart. Yeah.
So I imagine there could be beings in existence here that are at that stage where they're just like, you'll be fine.
Yeah.
You'll be fine.
And even time is different. Like millions of years or thousands of years. They're like, oh, that's.
Maybe they actually live for thousands of years or hundreds of thousands of years. Like, who knows? Like we just don't know. But that's the best part of spiritual development for me is the unknown. Knowing that the more that I pursue knowledge and learning and humility and openness and love, the more I feel like these concepts I can just play with. I don't ever have to hold them inside and be like, this is what I believe, because that's when you get incel-y. That's when you get kind of shitty and you start preaching and pushing on other people like,
cynical.
We never went to the moon or we never, blah. Like you just start saying absolutes. I can't say anything with absolute certainty that even any of this is real right now. I can't. I can't say with absolute certainty that I'm here in this right now. I can say that my sensors are telling me that all of this is real and reality, but ultimately I have to let go of every concept I've ever taken in because the more I know, the more I don't know. Who said that? There's
Oh, I can't remember.
It's a very famous saying, but I feel that every day I live more, I'm like, I don't know shit, man.
And even to bring it back in the more like our material real world with all the politics and news and misinformation and everything, it's kind of like, we also say this all the time, we're like, there are no good guys.
No.
In that realm, in this very like power grabby world that we live in, it's just like, you want to, we all, I guess, somewhere deep down, or maybe not in that deep down, you probably pick a side. You're like, well, if I had to, you know, like if it was back to the Cold War, like I remember my history teacher back in the day, he's like, if I had to pick a side, he's like, I'd rather be on the U.S. side. Like I'm happy I was on this end.
Because they're the winners, or because they're right? Like,
or because that resonates with you, I don't know.
Yeah.
But in the same vein, it's just kind of like, we don't really know, and like, there might not really be any good guys.
Yeah, I doubt the Russians were like, we're the Cold War bad guys. Like, no, they're probably like, these Americans are fucking us. We need to like figure out how to, it's these power games. And I do feel like proper spiritual development erodes power games. I do feel in my experience, in the experiences around me of people who really spend a lot of time trying to be more loving and open, is there's the struggle to like gain power over someone or to try and create that hierarchy, starts to evaporate.
It just seems so flat.
It just seems flat. It just like there's
it doesn't enrich. It doesn't fill you up. It doesn't.
And it's temporary. Even if you get there, someone else, there's another lion that is going to be stronger, faster, smarter, and eat you. So I would rather just not play that game and play this game of like openness and love and like discussion. Remember discussion? Remember people sitting down and actually just talking about things and not taking things personally and picking sides? That's lost in the last part of my lifetime. And I look and I'm just like, what is everyone doing? Like, everyone's pointing a gun at each other in the room. You ever seen that meme where it's like there's a spaceman, there's a guy behind him pointing a gun, and the guy behind him pointing a gun? That's how I feel about media and politics. It's like everyone's just pointing a gun at each other. No one's talking. They're just like, who's gonna pull first? Who's gonna pull first? Like, well, I better pull first, or I'm gonna die from. Like, it's crazy. It's actually crazy.
Or how often you say one thing and someone's like just completely conflates it into being like, oh, so you don't blah blah blah, and you're like, oh, I didn't say that at all. I just you know.
This is where if there is ETs and you're listening, you can come at any time and intervene in some of these wars. You can just come in and just be like, which apparently has happened throughout history. They've showed up at American military bases and just gone poof and just turned them off.
Yeah.
And these operators of these military nuke sites on their deathbed went, yep, a UAP showed up, just appeared and went poof, and everything just shut down, and we couldn't target it, we couldn't do anything, and then they just left.
Yeah.
So maybe right now we would have evaporated ourselves, and they've been stopping it this whole time.
Yeah. Maybe that's the bare minimum that they're sent to do.
Yeah,
or
let's just
feel
keep them alive.
responsible,
Guys, don't kill yourselves, you fucking idiots. We'll keep you alive, and okay, you're gonna kill yourselves a little bit, but we can't do it all for you.
Yeah.
You know,
that's where I play around. Is it like a future version of humanity, of the human race that's projected and then coming back and talking to us and preventing itself from destroying itself?
And then we have to have the conversation about time and is that even possible with the way that time functions? Is it always moving? Is it in cycles? And can we travel through it?
Can we bridge it?
Yeah. I mean, this is what we're talking about daily. This is this is legit the conversations that we have. Well, we didn't come to any conclusion, but
we never will.
No, we never will. This is a continuous topic.
We never will.
These discussions, I think, are really good for mental capacity because it keeps you in an imaginary space.
Yeah.
And I feel like we can relate that back to spiritual development. That keeps you playful.
Yeah. And I feel like there's an action in talking about these things. They are, there isn't really an end to them, and they kind of bubble up, and then eventually it's just then what we're doing is, we can just settle into this and into this experience and this reality and know try to be more righteous in our own discernment and decision making
and promote love
and
promote loving disposition.
Yeah,
that's what we'll leave you with. And
it's a good one.
Scrack! Pull!